once you have finished your doors and your windows and your trim, you should look similar to this. Try not to spin too quick so don't make anyone motion sick as you go through it. So you should have all of that done. And then you're going to have your guidelines that are left if you use those to mark things. So there's a couple of different ways that you can get rid of those. In most CAD programs, when you have your select tool, your arrow like you have here, if you click and hold it and drag from right to left, it will select anything that it touches. So like if I go through here and just touch the corner of the box, it's going to get all of it that's in there. If you click and drag from left to right, it's only going to choose things that are fully in that box. So if I go here, it gets these lines that are inside the box, but anything that's not fully inside the box, it doesn't select. So that's a good way when you need to select and manage things like that. So I can either select and drag from right to left and go through and delete my lines because these guidelines just kind of keep going. Or you can go up to view and down here where it says guides, if you uncheck that, it's going to hide them for you. So that way you can kind of turn them off and on as you need to. So either way you can clean it up with that. The next thing we're going to do is add our flooring, put a flooring material on it, and then talk about how to add paint and wall covering to your other finishes, as your other surfaces as you go through. So for adding the flooring, if you'll remember, we originally had a solid flooring in here that we deleted so that we could work more easily with the walls and everything. So what we're going to do is go back and add that in. So you'll want your pencil tool and you're going to have to zoom in and make sure that you're getting at the very bottom of each of the lines as you go through. And then you can use your orbit to spin it as you work through it. Make sure that you've got a good view of this so you can make sure you're hitting it where you need to. And you'll have to start and stop at each point as it goes through it. So I'm just going to keep going through like this. I'm going to spin it, and I'm using the wheel on my mouse. So I'm pushing down and moving it to orbit it, and then just spinning it in and out to zoom in and out. So you're just going to draw from corner to corner. Again, make sure you want to have a good viewpoint of it. So that's why I'm zooming in, so I can make sure that it's getting right there at that end point that I need it to. If you're too far away, you might accidentally click the top of it or the side of it and it won't connect. So now that I have everything, it will fill in just this gray color and I can choose it and I know that I've created that. If it does not, then that you need to go back because your lines are not all on the bottom where you need to be. So I'm just going to double click this to select it, and I'm going to go ahead and make this a group. And I'm going to, let's see, we're going to create come under tags, and I'm going to create one for floor as well. Now I'm going to select my floor. Oops, hold on. And move it to floor as it goes through, so everything matches up. So now I can come to materials and I can apply a material to my flooring. So you're going to come down to the drop down and you have either carpets, fabrics, etc. You have tile that you can use, you have wood, you have stone, so any of those. So I'm going to choose a wood floor. And you can see as you hover, you've got a bamboo flooring, you've got one that just says wood floor dark, wood floor light, wood floor parquet. So those are going to have kind of that typical wood flooring layout to it. You also have wood lumber butt joint, so a lot of different things. So I'm just going to, let's choose wood floor light. Again, it'll switch to my paint bucket, and I'm just going to click on that surface, and it's going to fill that for me. So now when I look at it, it's got kind of that different texture and the colors and the board sizes in that as it goes through. So it's very easy to kind of add that flooring as you go through it. For once we get to walls, since this is a group that you have, you want to double click on it. And now you see I have a dashed line around it. That means that I am inside that group and I can make changes to each individual surface. So this allows me, you can see I selected this surface, or I can do this one. So this is really helpful if you wanted to do, maybe you want to do wall covering on just one wall, or you want to do an accent color on one wall and the others are other colors. You can work with it like that. If I just selected a color, and I'll show you. So I'm outside of it now. You can see when I click on it, it selected the whole thing. And to do that, when I was in here, I just went over outside of the dash and clicked, and it got out of it. So let's just go, we're just going to go to colors named. Here, we'll just choose deep pink because it's easy to see. If I come now and click on this, you can see it covers every surface with that as I go through. So all of it is that color, inside, outside, everything as you go through it. All right. If you just want one color, then you can do it that way, and it makes it easy as you go through. Let me undo that. But if you are doing just one wall and like a wall covering something, then you're going to need to double click on your walls so that you can get inside this. So now if I choose a wall, and I'm going to try to find like a neutral gray or something that shows up but isn't too much. We'll do light slate gray. So now I can just apply it to each wall surface as I go through. All right. So if I just want to do 3 walls in that gray color, I can do that. And then I can come back and maybe I want to put a wall covering on this wall or something as I go through it. All right. So for this one, we're going to stick with just the materials you can choose from here. Later on, we will work through how you can add wall covering, how you use images and all that to add to it. So, but I could, let's see, let's say I just wanted to put a brick wall in here for accent purposes. Again, I'm going to double click in here, choose my brick, and place it on the wall that I want. Okay, so that allows me to have an accent wall as I go through it. All right. For your trim, I always recommend putting some sort of color on it, even if it's white. It just shows up a little better as you go through it. So you've got your windows, and for this, you can just choose the whole thing. And you can see I've not put my trim on a layer or made it a group. You can do that if you need to. For the most part, you should be fine. It probably wouldn't hurt to make it a group, so as you get to where you're placing furniture, you don't have any accidents of it merging with it. But so I'm going to go back again, look through like my colors, and they have a white here that's probably just a little different than what's on there. It's not showing or making much of a change, but when you go through and you shade it, then it can help. All right. Or you can add a wall frame if you want. You could make your mullions black if you want to. So whatever you choose to do for your colors as you go through it. Okay. So that will get your finishes on there, and you can get everything matched up the way you want. Again, your door could just be white, or you could add a color to it.